Haynes, who received his medical degree from the University of Alberta. He served as a colonial officer in Nigeria and practiced medicine in the Cariboo, Alberta, and Alabama. Now retired, he lives in West Bank and travels extensively in Central America. His articles and poetry have been published in journals including the Canadian Journal of Rural Medicine and the Medical Post. In his recently published second book, Wake Up Call, which I believe you will be reading from, Haynes begins by telling us that at the age of 70, a left hemisphere stroke rearranged his brain. My right creative side took over and I started to write poetry and humor. I was left with a partially paralyzed right foot, but a writer's creative right brain. I think I got the better of the deal, a new brain in trade for a foot. The funny episodes in my medical practice become hilarious. The sad, melancholy parts of my life's memories look less frank. Please welcome Sterling Haynes.
Hello everyone, and thank you so much, Robert, for having me. Can everybody hear me okay?
Yes.
Robert asked me to talk a little bit about writing, publishing, and reading, and I'll go into that. And then I'll read a few zany poem and a story. It's Martin Luther King was day on Monday, so I'll maybe read a story about the Kings. Anyway, writing is fun. That's the main thing. It brings out the most of your talents, but it takes a lot of research. After the 9th rewrite of a short story, I'm sick of it. But if you're going to publish, I write for magazines, and then I have a collection of stories, 35. My first book was also a collection of stories called Bloody Practice, and published by Cape Press, and available in the bookstores in Kelowna. Chapters have done a lot for me in promoting it, and it's online. You can buy it through Amazon.ca or eBay or whatever. I try to write in the morning when I'm at a high energy level. If I wait too long, I get sleepy. And I have a beer, and then I do go to sleep. I read a lot, and I read a varied bunch of stuff. I read the New Yorker every week, and I read Scientific America, the section on the mind, and I read it monthly in the Globe and Mail every morning. So. And I try and keep up with the voluminous great writers in Canada and the U.S. This December, our four daughters gave me 12 books for Christmas. So, and everyone seems to be a fat book, so it's slow going. When I'm at airports and bus stations and stuff, I always have a little book. And I eavesdrop, and people say the damnedest things. And I write it down, and then it may appear in my story. By my bedside, I have a pen and book, and I do try. If I wake up with an idea from a dream, I write it down, and because if I wait till the morning, I can't remember it. So that's how I do. I use the internet for researching stuff, but then I check. I have a good modern Encyclopedia Britannica, and then I have for philosophical, religious stuff, I have the academic scholars edition of the encyclopedia, which came out in 1910. And all the great writers of the ages have written for it. Disraeli and all the great politicians. So it's handy. The only thing is it's in very fine print, and I have trouble, but I always keep my magnifying glass close by. My wife and I go to a lot of plays and movies, and I get inspired by a good movie, or a good play, or the symphony. And the ballet here is marvelous, the local ballet group. I find my friends inspire me, and they promote me too. Catherine Wellner has my stuff on her blog, and she's here tonight. Thank you, Catherine. So use your friends when you're writing, and not use them, but cultivate. I'm sorry that slipped out. My two daughters are writers, and they just